It was late morning, almost lunchtime. Employees chatted, organized the dining area, and even took a selfie. Everything seemed normal, until a supposed delivery rider arrived soon after. Helmet on, quick steps, the kind of attitude that draws attention. He approaches the counter, asks a brief question, then turns his back. But something isn't right. Suddenly, the atmosphere changes. One of the employees who legally owned a firearm notices the danger and reacts at the right moment. Within seconds, the situation is under control. Police are called and several stolen items are recovered. Once again, awareness and courage from an ordinary citizen prevented the worst, showing that danger can appear even in the calmest places.
Security footage from the Mayor neighborhood in Rio de Janeiro captures a moment that turned a calm midday traffic scene into one of pure tension. Behind a white pickup truck, two motorcycles appear, one carrying two riders. They approach another motorcyclist and attempt a quick confrontation. What they didn't expect was that the man they targeted wasn't an ordinary victim. Calm and prepared, he recognizes the danger and reacts at the right moment. Within seconds, the scene changes. Drivers move away, pedestrians seek cover, and the pair flee without taking anything. The motorcyclist sustains a minor injury, receives immediate assistance, and is doing well. Once again, the cameras show how awareness and quick thinking can prevent the worst, and how danger can appear even during the busiest hours.
Security cameras at a laboratory captured a moment of pure tension. A delivery rider arrives at the scene. Right behind him, another motorcycle appears with two riders. On the sidewalk, a parked car with the driver inside. Everything seems normal. Suddenly, the passenger gets off and makes suspicious gestures, trying to intimidate the victims. Seconds later, two more men arrive on another motorcycle and surround the area. Four individuals, all wearing helmets, act in a coordinated way. One targets the driver, another approaches the motorcyclist. The situation escalates and the atmosphere changes completely. Amid the chaos, the driver, who had been restrained, surprises everyone. He stands up and steps in to defend the victims, changing the course of events. The suspects panic and flee in different directions. Moments later, authorities arrive and bring the situation under control.
Security cameras at a gas station captured a moment of pure tension. A white car is parked next to the pump. In the driver's seat, a man notices something suspicious and makes a quick move as if trying to protect himself. Suddenly, two suspects approach. One gestures, trying to intimidate the driver, while the other appears confused, unsure of what to do. The man opens the door, raises his hands, and seems ready to cooperate. But within seconds, the situation changes. One of the suspects gets into the car, and what seemed like a simple robbery turns into chaos. The reaction comes immediately. The driver takes advantage of a brief moment and turns the situation around. Startled, the suspects panic and flee without taking anything. Minutes later, the scene returns to normal.
It was mid-afternoon. Security cameras captured a couple walking calmly along the sidewalk. Suddenly, a motorcycle with two riders appears at high speed, makes a U-turn, and heads straight toward them. The mood changes in seconds. The passenger makes suspicious gestures, and the couple has nowhere to go. The woman, frightened, drops her backpack, trying to avoid something worse. But then, the unexpected happens. A car coming from behind notices the scene and speeds toward the motorcycle. The impact stops the action and causes panic among people nearby. The suspects fall, try to get up, and flee without taking anything. The driver, in an act of courage, goes to the police station to report what happened. Stunning footage captures the moment an armed man enters a bar in São Paulo during the afternoon. Customers were chatting normally when the suspect, wearing a helmet, walks in and announces a robbery. Within seconds, chaos erupts. Watches, phones, everything of value is demanded. But among the customers, there was someone prepared, a man who spotted the perfect moment when the suspect turned his back. Acting quickly, he steps in and stops the crime from continuing. The crowd panics, and the cameras record the entire incident. The attempted robbery ends there. No one else is hurt, and police arrive shortly after. Another scene that proves crime may try, but courage and readiness still make the difference. Security footage captures a tense moment at a delivery point in the city. A delivery rider, who had just completed a job, was preparing to leave when two men approached. One of them made a suspicious gesture, pretending to be armed, instantly changing the atmosphere. The pair tried to intimidate and surrounded the motorcycle, but the worker noticed something unusual. Neither of them actually showed a weapon. Staying calm, he removed the key from the ignition, took a few steps back, and avoided direct confrontation. Unable to proceed, the suspects hesitated, exchanged glances, and fled the scene. Police were called shortly after and are working to identify those involved. The rider's calm and composed reaction prevented the robbery, a clear example that awareness and self-control can change the course of a dangerous situation.
Security footage captures a rapid and unexpected action. A woman walks along the sidewalk carrying a bag. Everything seems normal until a motorcycle suddenly appears. The passenger jumps off, runs toward the woman, and tries to snatch the bag from her hands. The shock is intense, but just seconds later, the outcome changes. A passing driver sees the scene, speeds up, and intercepts the motorcycle before the escape. The impact knocks the assailant down, and he tries to get up, but is stopped again. With no other option, he abandons the bag and flees in panic. The frightened woman takes cover behind a car, while the driver calls the police. The bag is recovered, and no one is hurt. Another proof that awareness and courage, even in seconds, can completely change the course of a situation.
Two men entered a utility store pretending to be customers. Helmets on, focused eyes. Their intentions were clear. As the clerk approached, one of them pulled a gun and announced a robbery. While the accomplice grabbed items from the shelves, the employees tried to remain calm. The atmosphere was tense and filled with fear. Outside, a passerby noticed the suspicious movement. He watched for a few seconds, then decided to act. He entered the store, gave clear commands, and managed to restrain the suspects. Everything was brought under control quickly, and no one was hurt. A firm and precise action prevented the robbery. Proof that courage, when combined with awareness, can change everything in just a few seconds.
The images you are watching now show yet another flagrant case of crime, captured by security cameras on a busy avenue in the city of São Paulo. A man appears riding a high-displacement motorcycle. He slows down, stops at the spot, and for a few seconds everything seems calm, but the calm doesn't last long. Soon after, two criminals appear on another motorcycle. They quickly approach and pull up beside the victim. The passenger wastes no time. He points a gun and announces the robbery. Investigations indicate that the pair had already been following the motorcyclist since the highway, waiting for the right moment to act. The victim, surprised and visibly frightened, does not react. Nervously, the motorcycle shuts off by itself. He tries to control it but fails. He gets off the vehicle, which falls onto the asphalt. Pressured by the criminals, the man ends up falling to the ground and is even pushed by one of the assailants. Everything indicated that the crime would be carried out. The criminals had the upper hand, the victim was subdued, and the scene seemed favorable for the robbery. But that's when an unexpected character comes into play. An off-duty police officer who was passing by notices the criminal action. Within seconds, he decides to act. The cameras do not capture the beginning of the intervention, but gunshots echo. One of the criminals is hit and falls to the ground, injured. The accomplice, in shock, doesn't know where the shots are coming from. Frozen, he looks around in confusion, then runs desperately toward a nearby alley, abandoning his partner. The officer cautiously approaches. With each step, he checks the situation, ensuring that the wounded assailant has no chance of reacting. Moments later, a female officer arrives at the scene. She retrieves the criminal's weapon, checks the area, and sweeps for the second bandit. Everything under control. Robbery thwarted. Victim safe. Area secured. Thanks to the quick and precise action of the officers, the case ended without innocent victims. The injured criminal was rescued, is under arrest, and will face charges. The accomplice remains at large and is being pursued by the police. Another occurrence that shows the importance of firm and immediate action against crime.